Howdy doody, ladies and gentle people. It is currently Thursday, August 1st, 2013, and this is Day 9 Daily number 614, where we learn to be a better gamer. In very exciting news, it is 10 days until my brother Tasteless turns 29. He turns 29 on August 11th. Really cool birthday. Same birthday as Hulk Hogan. Not as cool as me. I have the same birthday as Helen Keller. I think I won there. But happy preemptive birthday, Nicola. Also, in other unrelated StarCraft news, has anyone read Saga? Oh my god, this is so good. I brought it. I was going to the bathroom and I was like, well, I bought this. I may as well check it out. Well, actually, I didn't buy it. Tristan gave it to me as a present, and I was like, well, I may as well read it. So I sat down, and my legs fell asleep in issue 3, and I just kept reading until I was done. I couldn't even get out of the bathroom. It was so good. If this doesn't win every Eisner in the universe for the rest of eternity, I'm going to be really upset. God, it's so good. Oh, let me just take a sip. I haven't gotten any coffee. I don't know if this has happened to you when you try to take a sip out of a mug and you just go, and then you run out of lung space and none of it gets in there. Let's try this one more time. Excellent. In today's daily, we're going to answer the what the F topic of how on earth Maru was able to take down Innovation 4-0. Three of the plays, I would define one of the plays as straight cheese, one of the plays is pretty damn cheesy, and the other one is just an aggressive one-base build, and then just winning straight up in Game 4. Really, really mind-blowing series. This means that Maru is in the GSL Finals up against Rain. Rain doesn't really lose to Terran in Best of X series, but if Maru does it, he will be one of the first. So I'm really excited to talk a little bit about how he was able to get where he is now. And it's kind of unusual that I'm going to be like, and here's a cheese, now just do that. But we can admire the sophistication of cheese. I think I just, in general, don't do enough cheesy horseshit bullshit strategy dailies, because the thing that excites me the most is like the really long unfolding elements, different puzzle pieces that seem awkward yet fit together just right. That's what really gets me all up and ready and excited in the morning to do more StarCraft stuff. But cheeses are legit too. They are not merely there to induce rage. They can exist to provide joy as you can use them. So we'll be talking about that today. Just wanted to note, for next week, it's the WCS Round of 16 Premier League. So the daily will be a series of mini dailies that occur right after that, because I'm going to be doing some casting for that. So there'll be no Funday Monday next week, but for the week after Funday Monday is, you must kill your opponent with Baneling drops en masse. However you would like to interpret that, you are the dancer. I am merely the prompt giver. I just want to see your moves. And of course, in concurrency with that Funday Monday topic, we have a brand new, in the StarCraft 2 forums over at day9.tv, the Funday Monday submission rules to remind you how to structure it to maximize your chances. Because if you write an essay, you might just not get your essay read at all. If you submit a zip of 10 replays, you are fucking high if you think I'm going to unzip anything. So, let's go ahead and just note. Just tell me what the daily is, give me a description of it, and then of course include who the hell you are, because that's also really hard to figure out, and a little bit of why it should be in the daily. Submit those to Monday at day9.tv. Again, about the Baneling Drop Funday Monday that will be occurring in 2 weeks. 2 weeks. Well, like 10 days. Let's go ahead and hop into this game, shall we? Shall we hop into the game? I think that we should hop into the game after we admire this great mug. A wonderful gift from one of you darling folks. Thank you so much. It's so good. Let me just note how much cool stuff we have in the room. This is Tomo the Sphere Bear, a gift from the wonderful Zoe, who you may know is a very prominent esports caster. On top is a hat provided to me by someone who does custom-drawn hats. We have a Corgi, and very recent gift for the birthday. Ding! Thanks for that Corgi, Mrs. You-Know-Who. Saying that because I think she's in the chat. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lag. We'll find out. But then we have a plush Baneling from Boro Boro Official. Underneath there, we have like it's very hard to see, but there's actually a cute little Reaver underneath there. Is that a Reaver? I haven't looked there in so long. I Actually, what is under there? Should be a Reaver. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little Reaver. Look at him. He's so cute. He's a Reaver. And then we have a military, I can't remember the official word for it. Cover. Military cover, I think it is. It goes on top of the Reaver because, of course, he doesn't have a shuttle to carry him around. We have the flag from NASL up in Ontario. What else do we have? Pat the Bunny. You can barely tell, but there's actually a statue of Yagami Light there. Next to it is a sculpture made out of squirt cans. There's all cool stuff there. Yeah. Let's get into the game. This is a StarCraft strategy show, but you know what? I really like my room. By the way, I just get the coolest gifts. Let me just note. Look at this. This is a keycap keychain with a 9 key on it. Also, this is a sloth holding Manfred. And this is Manfred. And this is Manfred as a Marine. Yeah. Like, literally, like, always within arm's reach. We've, like, bunnies. We have, Every Day I'm Jefferson. What else is here? Neat stuff. Yeah, Manfred. Manfred's awesome. Okay, let's go into the game. Today we're going to talk about total bullshit, and we're going to be respectful towards it. We're going to talk about the thing that defines France as a culture. Cheese. Cheese. And what would be cheese without wines? But not today. We're actually going to go wineless. We're going to just drink coffee with our cheese, because we're going to be excited about it. We're going to love it. I'm going to talk a little bit about what the cheese is. Jeez, calm down, Maru. We're going to talk about what this cheese is and why these timings are notable. Let me just make sure the sound is okay. Yeah, that's way too damn loud. It should be at, I think it's, let's go with 16%. StarCraft 2 has to reboot because this is actually just before the patch. Just before the patch. So now that the patch was released today, I got to load the replays offline. So in this matchup, there's a variety of openings, almost all of which involve some early gas. Traditionally, we like to partition Terran play into barracks aggression, gas-based plays, and then early expo plays without gas, but that's really the improper partitioning. It's kind of like the quick gas aggression, the slow gas with expand builds, or the no gas expand builds. Those are really the three, and I think that those are really the distinct things that we'll be up against. So, what I first want to do is just note what Maru is up to. Maru is going to be going for fast refinery, but we're going to ignore Maru for a second and move on over to innovation, because as the important god of timing has told us, the determination of what our build should be is not about our timings. It's about his timings and what he can do. If we are studying the Zerg versus Protoss matchup from the Zerg perspective, we're going to talk almost exclusively about Protoss timings and how our Zerg timings relate to that. But first and foremost, what he can do. So we're going to take a look at what our enemy is doing. Innovation is going to be doing a variety of sort of delayed gassy openings. This is very common. The 14th worker, boom, heads out to scout. The 15th worker, boom, goes right into the gas. This is common if you want to go for expand and then factory, or if you want to go reactor and then expand and then factory. We're going to see that second one. Those are really the only two. There's not a terribly large amount of openings for Terran. It feels like there are because they wind up being so wildly different once you get to the mid game, but the sort of fundamentals of it are really not all that different. So indeed, 1 Marine, 2 Marine. There's a barracks going down. Sometimes this second Marine will be cut in favor of getting an extra reactor. or not an extra reactor, but the reactor a little earlier. So of course, this permits us to get the factory, and then we look at our wonderful money distribution, and we approximately have this factory at just the right time. So what I actually want to do, actually I have an idea. You know what? Let's get my favorite piece of technology, Notepad. Perfect. I had to name it. This is the undeniably brilliant list of notes by day 9. That's totally cool. Hi, Notepad. Get out of here. You're not allowed to have an identity. So let's just do this game 1 analysis where we end up asking ourselves, what is the timing of 15 gas into reactor racks expand? Now, there's other thing going on like factory and soon enough a tech to starport, but I'm just going to state to you, if a player does opt to get a reasonably early gas, 13, 14, 15, something like that in TVT, you're going to be going factory and starport. If you're really, really, really good, there's some other builds in there, but basically no. Basically no. You can think of it as that's it. Why is this so? Because if we get gas, or if we get gas, we're going to use it for either reactor or a factory. And if we go for the reactor or the factory, we just don't quite have enough stuff to deal with Banshees and Hellions as 2 distinct possibilities. So we really do need the Vikings. So we got to go up for the starport. That's really it. I mean, a lot of it revolves around the Vikings needing to defend against the Banshees. You just don't really have enough Marines. In fact, you'll lose to Hellions too. The other thing I noted, you just won't quite have enough Marines. So you got to do something else. If you try to back up and get more barracks, you'll just die. So 15 gas reactor racks expand. We know what's coming, so let's ask ourselves some basic questions. 430. What's up? Reactor done. Factory start. And what else is going on here? Well, we see there's 2 Marines. Sometimes you'll end up seeing this like 415 the reactor is done with 1 Marine, but that's fine. So we're just going to go ahead and note ourselves some other timings just so we can, get a sense of what is up. Okay, so boom. Instant thing. Little swaparoo. 530. Cool. We'll just do this again. 530. Hellions started. Factory started. Actually, we don't need to conjugate verbs properly. We can just put start and start. And how many Marines are out here? 6. Not a lot. Not a terribly large amount. And then we'll do one last little bit at 6:30. Innovation, who did scout, of course, exactly what was up, has a very predictable timing at 6:30. Why am I choosing these times? Because why the hell not? Any time is fine to write down. You can use any timing as a guide for you. I will round up. We have 6 Marines and 2 Hellions, but I'm going to round this to 4 because I can see that they're just about to be done. And starport's done. Starport done. 4 Hellions, 6 Marines, almost Viking. I'll put Vicky. There we go. Alright, cool. What else does he have? He's just started an engineering bay. Well, that seems pretty relevant. Engineering bay start. Now, you can just do a little bit of extra math to note things like how much he can produce. Unless this barracks goes back to this reactor, then we're getting about 2 Marines a minute, which is not terribly much. Viking is about 1 a minute. A little bit more. So cool. We now have some pretty nice timings. So what we want to do is we want to come back to the Maru camp. He's going to be doing something a little bit cheesy. So we'll just see specifically what that is. Now, Maru, actually we'll pull way the heck back. Maru's going to be going down the whole other route of aggression in game number 1. Opting to construct this refinery right off the bat. And then following it up with a barracks on 13. The goal of this is, of course, that the factory winds up popping off at the exact same, or we wind up having 100 gas right when the barracks finishes. We can snap up a factory real fast. So you look at us just now having enough. Doink. And soon enough, shadoink. For any of you Terran players who've ever wondered, should I let the 16th SCV finish before building the orbital, or should I build the orbital and not build the 16th SCV? You never have that dilemma. And if you don't play Terran and have no clue what I'm talking about, continue to have no clue what I'm talking about. It's fine. We have the very standard fast tech up. But thanks to the cheap, ever so cheap cloak, we have a little bit of added benefit. This refinery, look how early this is getting added on. It was refinery, barracks, factory, refinery was the loose order. Producing those Marines one at a time. The big concern that all players who are going for a fast starport will have is how the heck can I possibly have enough for both Cloak and the Banshee? Well, you now have your answer. It's 100 gas for the Cloak, and this early refinery will ensure that we have just barely enough. But there's a couple other interesting things going on from Maru's perspective. Maru is faced with the question, Tech Lab here or Tech Lab here? Very often with early cheese builds, it's very easy to get super overeager and think of all the different ways you can bust in there. Hellions blasting down the front door. We can go for Widow Mines to try to contain and harass and do all these other things. But what Maru is going to do is something that everyone needs more of in their StarCraft play. Focus. The best build order is not the one when there's nothing more to add. It is optimal when there is nothing more to take away. The fewer the elements, the bigger and better our army. So we're actually going to see Maru do a really simple but extremely strong style. So, watch. And by the way, this goes for all you people out there. I know you. I've seen your questions in chat who will say things like, well, what if he had a Raven in that force? What if he had some extra mines in that force? It seems better to have all these units that can achieve all these purposes, but in practice, the less variety you have in your unit mix, the stronger. I will say right now, Maru will soon enough be going for a tank, marine, banshee push. So the barracks stays in the marine production mode as much as possible. So I'm just going to go ahead and just do a brief little comparison. I'm going to right here at 5:30. What's going on at 5:30? Thank God I have this. Hellions have just started. Now, because I'm a badass, and I know that Hellions take 30 seconds, I can conclude that Hellions finish right about now. And what's Innovation likely going to do with the Hellions? Well, he's either going to hold him back in his base, or he's going to move him out to the front. Those are 100% of the possibilities. So this is what I like quite a lot. Just a single Widow Mine, we're going to see that come into play. And also, our Banshee's getting started. At the same time, that Starport's getting started. Whoa, we're moving fast, baby. So this SCV is going out to try to meet with some Hellions, to try to figure out how far this Widow Mine can advance forward. How fortunate, how fortunate.
Add-on complete.
Now, you will duly note, he could be not early expanding. We know for a fact as Maru that he's not going Reaper because we haven't seen any Reapers yet. So that's actually a big conclusion. Actually, holy crap, I am so bad at my job. Why did I not make the biggest deal out of that in the whole wide world? You guys, stop and listen. Because we're actually going to end part 1 after this. Because this is going to just blow your mind so much you'll need the 2-minute break to just vomit blood. Because it feels so good and your body can't handle it. It's like having, suddenly I give you the ability to comprehend 6 dimensions. You'll just be like, you wouldn't be happy. But it'll take you 2 minutes of break. That's why it'll happen. Okay. Jesus, went out of control. Sorry, I'm just giggling. Around 4:15, we should start going, where the hell is that Reaper? If by 4:30 we know there's not a Reaper, what do we know? What do we broadly know he's up to? He's either going for some kind of expand, which will delay a lot of his tech, or he's going for some hyper mega aggression. Some, basically like what Maru's doing. This is a hyper aggressive build. Why are we sending this out to arrive at 6:30? Because if we get here, this is actually totally super unfortunate that he didn't see that thing there. This is really bad by him. If Maru gets here and sees that there's no expansion, he can make some decisions to pull back. He can reposition these Marines. He can begin rallying everything back and play defensively and know that he has a really stable setup against it. If for some reason he does see this, then he can do these contain plays much more aggressively. This, even though this seems really late, Maru's smart enough to know, well, dude, if this guy got 4 Hellions and didn't expand, then he sucks. These Hellions should be getting aggressive right away. So this means that Maru, guaranteed, has the ability to be aggressive and already gets a very nice hit off. Remember that leading SCV? Big thanks, says the Widow Mine, moving straight on in. And at this point, we kind of know effectively what is up. And of course, at 7, we have ourselves cloaking.
Complete. Additional.
Now what's cool about this build from Maru is that he's immediately beginning to add in more Banshees, immediately adding in more factories. We'll see how this ended up being so effective when we come back after this short break.